None of the following should be taken as business, investment, legal, or tax advice. Enjoy the podcast. Hello and welcome, everyone, to the new edition of the Swap Space Huddle podcast. We are here with Ruslan from TX Legal. It's been a while. We've done a recent interview with the creators of the Ethereum documentary about Vitalik Buterin with Zach and Chris. And I'm very glad to be back. And we have a special guest. Ruslan, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you for invitation, Turpal. My name is Ruslan, and I am CEO and founder of TX Legal law firm. So we help crypto, fintech, IT projects around the world to understand how to be fully compliant and have less fear in this volatile space.
That sounds good. And it is volatile indeed. I already have a name for the name of the podcast, but we'll have to see where this conversation will take us, especially with all of the experience that you've managed to gain, because we've been talking backstage and you said that you've been in crypto since 2017.
Yeah.
And I wonder, because we have a recurring theme on our podcast here, I always ask the guest how they got into crypto, what made them stay, and what do you like about it most?
It was 2017. And I studied law in the law school, and I was a part of a little group of guys who like Austrian economic school. We like liberty in money. We talked about the private money and etc. And we find out about Bitcoin and crypto, and we said, "Wow, that's interesting." And in that moment, we understand that Bitcoin is too expensive for us, but we find out about Ethereum and we started to buy Ethereum. So my first bath of the Ethereum was in April of 2017.
Wow.
And I just bought it and it's interesting. And I started to trade, to have some interactions with smart contracts and etc. The one grade of the law school, the third grade of the law school was finished at the moment, and so I decided I want to work here. I want to have an expertise here because I really believe this big stuff. And I started searching work here in summer and in autumn. So in summer I was trading crypto, Bitcoin, and etc. And it was that's fine, no, not so bad. And in the beginning of the autumn, I found out the one crypto fund that was in search for analytics. And I started to work as an analytic. It was a little fund. The guys bring 500K in the fund.
Measly 500K, of course.
Yeah, of USD, and that was I was the person who decided where we want to invest. So it was me, analytic, and the founder of the fund. So founder of the fund was a researcher too, but after my advice, 99% of projects are coming to invest. I understand that I have kind of bigger responsibility here. So when I give an advice to guys, invest in this, I should prove it not only by my word, but my money. So I have not so much money when I studied in law school, and I started to invest in projects that I advised to invest. So it was the first project 2x's, the second project 3x's, the third project 40x, and wow, what is this? So I find out how to make money. I take the God by his beard, and I find the button of money button, and it was crazy for me, and I start to deeply interact with the space. And it was the end of 2017 and the beginning of 2018.
Wow.
And as I remember, in the New Year Eve, I sitting by my computer and watching charts, and all the charts, the tokens that I invested in and holding. Of course, I holding.
But they were red?
Huh? No, they're spikes,
Oh.
spikes. And I'm thinking, it was my first interaction with the markets at all. Where it's come next. I even don't understand that there's things like correction, there's things like bull run, there is a beer. I thought, so if I make one big amount of money from $500, I make more big amount of money from the money that I have right now. So
you reinvested.
Yes, fully reinvested, and of course it's become it starts with the beer cycle, and everything's
of course.
starting to drop off.
The usual.
Yeah, and for me it's like I was fund analytic, I was successful investor, and then I was a stupid guy who didn't sell at all.
Yeah, well, you couldn't have known, of course, and no one can predict the future in crypto, especially with all the bear and bull markets. I mean, I don't tend to dabble in trading at all because I'm just so scared of failing at some point. I'd rather leave that to the pros that do it, and if there is like some sort of algorithm that I'll be 100% sure in, if it's like an AI bot that can predict the markets. We made a video on that. It could be fun, but still I'm so skeptical about it. But I can imagine being in your position when you were there so early, especially 2017, which is still very early. I mean, Bitcoin only got its first breath of life.
First breath of 20K.
Yeah. I mean, now it's gone exponentially higher again, but I couldn't have even imagined at that time that something like that would be fun. And I remember I was actually working in a hotel, and in that hotel, the owner of that hotel actually had a mining farm near the pool. Yeah. So there was a room near the pool in that hotel, and he had like GTX 1050 Ti cards, and he had like 30 of them there. And I was wondering what even is that, because back at that time I was still very early. I was only in the first grade of my university years, and I had like a genuine question of what that even was. And he explained it to me. He said that he bought this farm. It's essentially making me money. He didn't even understand what mining was or how it worked or what proof of work was. He just had these farms. He invested that money, and he got absurdly rich from it. So the thing was, he had those farms, and they were generating a profit for him until Bitcoin hit its spike at around like 66K, which was I think in like 2021 or maybe a bit earlier. But I don't have a CoinGecko chart or CoinMarketCap chart in front of me right now, but I couldn't tell. But that's what spiked my interest. But
66K of Bitcoins?
No, the price was 66 back then. Got absurdly rich, and I wondered what even was that. So I started learning about it. I thought, wow, this is very skeptical. I kind of don't want to be in a position where I buy Bitcoin at its all-time high and then it goes down and it never goes up again. And then you start hearing about all these 4-year cycles where it goes down and then there's a correction and then it goes up, and now it's hitting an all-time high of like 109 very recently. Yeah, which is still something that that's insane to think about. You remember? I think you probably know this. John McAfee predicted that Bitcoin will go up to $1 million, or he'll eat his
penis.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but I guess I'll just have to blur it out. But still, yeah, it did, and it didn't.
But he died.
Well, that's another story. But then again, he only missed his prediction by like 99%. So whatever works for him. But yeah, it was very fun. And I have a very big hate of all these like crypto prophets. And these are the guys that make me not want to invest at all. Because
hate? Why?
Yeah, because you had the situation where your candlesticks were green, but then they went down, and I cannot imagine myself facing a situation like that.
Why?
I'm thinking, oh, it would be such a bummer. I now have to work around this, and I have to get back to where I was. And I hate restarting, and I hate going back to a checkpoint in games. And to have that with your assets, it's just not for me. That's why I don't gamble, and that's why I have a question for you here. So what happened? What happened next? That story is probably the catalyst of why you're going on and becoming a founder of a company that it works in law, that helps crypto projects work around certain things. So what was it that made you go further and invest more of your time into it and build a
Yeah.
career on it?
Yeah. Uh, Another time in our dialogue, we come to the field of the philosophy
Oh, of
and
course.
the psychology of the person who is interacting with some kind of chaotic and volatile market. And go back to me. So, 2018, all my earnings are coming to like not zero, but not so good part of what I had in the bull market, and that's okay. I'm always was in and is an optimist guy. Like that's okay, that's no problem. So I study in law school, the last grade in the law school, and I working in a PwC. It's a company that's about legal audits and etc. So it's business consulting. PwC Big Four company. I
I think
was
they also did legal opinions, right?
yeah, for sure. It's like KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst and Young, and I work in international taxation. So, like, I had a big crypto experience. I worked before the PwC. I worked in different crypto companies, like ICO Rating, who was punished by SEC in 2018. Yeah, but not lawyer. I'm not lawyer here. I was just an analytic. So
I love the SEC.
yeah, I love it too, and I explained why I love it. So, and PwC and how it starting out. So when the COVID starts, the friend of mine, the founder of the crypto fund, he also was a lawyer, an analytic. He is very good in crypto, and he's very good in law. He much more older than me, and not much more, just older than me, and he's very had a good expertise, and the guys from his network starting to coming to him that you are a lawyer, you are in crypto, please help us. And it was like organic outreach because they believe in him. And his name is Ildar said to me, come to me, let's go work together. So I started working firstly for him, then I started to attract clients. We start working half and half, 50 and then in 2023 I bought the equity in the company from him, so now I'm the only founder and the CEO of the company. So our business now is like is blooming.
Wow. I want to get to that later about what you do, but first we kind of have to work around the topic of law in crypto. I mean, regulation, not the law,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think we can both agree that there is no like unified law for crypto. Yeah, a lot of people have opinions on it, but again, I wonder what's yours. And if we look at the stance of the world right now, especially with crypto, you have all these crypto-friendly countries like Dubai. Oh, I guess I shouldn't call it that. I guess I should call Dubai like the hub of the crypto world, because that's where all the
Yeah.
conferences go, and
Yeah.
you have all the sheiks using crypto for various purposes. We're not going to talk what purposes, but then again,
Now we're gonna talk,
it's
yeah.
very popular there, and a lot of companies actually go there and seek like some kind of safe haven
Yeah.
for their business. But the main driver of adoption and growth is, of course, the businesses that push the product forward.
Yeah.
And if we can call blockchain and crypto like a product,
Yeah.
the lack of businesses in some of the countries that are not so crypto friendly, they're going to be leaning heavily on them, trying to tax them, trying to relieve them of their freedom, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a looming threat over all the governments. I think you can agree on that. So what would you say right now is the best place for crypto to grow, and what would be like the worst place for crypto to grow?
Oh, This is my favorite question because a lot of clients, when we start working with them, is the question of the jurisdictions. Where I can come, it will be good, safe, zero taxes, cheap, and everything will be fine. So
and we have hot models around
yeah,
us all the time.
crypto heaven. So
Yeah.
we call it. There is no crypto heaven. First of all, starting with that, and I want to a little elaborate my point of view on the crypto and regulation at the moment. So the crypto and regulation. So when we're talking about regulation, first of all, we should talk about the government and their goals. So government is about the power. The power wants to secure the power that they have and expand the power that they have. This is the nature of the power itself. And when we're talking about crypto, so they want not to lose their power. So when we're talking about the finance power, when you are controlling your central bank, when you control all the bank in your jurisdictions by providing them with licenses, and if they do not, if they do something that you don't like, you just take the license back. So
And the money.
and the money. No, it's like issue, but
Depends on what country.
depends country and etc. So the main point is that now government with this all the digital stuff is in full control of the financial system through controlling banks and other financial intermediaries. This is the main point. And here's come the crypto, and crypto comes and the government have no power on that. A lot of for example, like Bitcoin, on the blockchains, Monero, etc.
Monero and Zcash are my favorite.
Zcash, yeah. A lot of we have a lot of liquidity that we can't control. So what is the main reaction of the government? Fear, because fear of losing power, fear of not expansion, fear of not controlling it. So the main idea of all the governments is to somehow to make benefit from controlling it, benefiting from attracting it. So when we're talking about the government like tier 1, like USA, China, European Union, UK, I said Russia, and etc. This is the countries that already have the power, and they don't want to lose it. But we have some little governments like Singapore, like Hong Kong. It's China, but Hong Kong is a special administrative regime. So Hong Kong, Singapore, United Arab Emirates, little governments see opportunity here. So for them, it's you becoming a hub. You are a little control of it. You give opportunity to work here freely, giving breath to that, and the companies come to you. And
you're right.
So, but if we go in the like poker metaphor, so USA, China, and Russia cannot risk like that. Singapore, United Arab Emirates, Hong Kong, Mauritius, offshore zones, little governments, little countries can't do that. So this is one of the idea. The question that almost all the founders come to me is that the best jurisdiction. The method of the question is not correct. So when we are talking about in terms of jurisdictions, first of all, what we should see a business model. So if you are talking about crypto native project with no fiat at all, you can just take any offshore zone. BVI, Seychelles, doesn't matter. But when it comes to the fiat, interaction with the fiat, with the banking accounts, with the financial intermediaries, with the exchanges, centralized exchanges, and etc. So here we should start thinking. So usually clients come to me and ask, so I want to obtain the license. What license can you advise to me? Not correct method of the question, because when you're obtaining like license in country like Singapore, for example, the license is the government give you a proof that you can do something on the territory of this government. The license don't give you right to do it everywhere.
Internationally.
Internationally, yeah. One license, one government, one license. That's all. Except European Union with passporting rights. So, for example, if you would take MiCA, okay, you can do it in the European Union, but you can do it in USA. You can do it in China. You can do it anywhere. So, the license has three main goals. The first goal is possibility to work with the financial intermediaries, banking, brokers, EMIs, electronic money institutions, exchanges, and etc. So without license, you can't work with them. The second part is working with the marketing providers. For example, if you want to start marketing in the Twitter or X, if you want to start a marketing in a Facebook, in a Google, you need license. Because without license you can't marketing, but you need license in that territory where you are going to marketing. We have some methods that we can use to loopholes, yeah. But the basic rule is the it's the relationships with the intermediaries, financial and marketing intermediaries. That's the main idea of the license. First, you need to take an account. The second is PR.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Like Binance is obtaining license in the Kazakhstan. Ooh, nice.
I love Kazakhstan.
Yeah, nice license.
Binance, please. Go to
Yeah,
Kazakhstan.
Bybit, for example, is really using a license in Kazakhstan in full force. For example, Bybit cards. Yeah, it's
I heard about that. It sucks that I'm so far away from it, but still, crypto cards are a very fun thing to have, especially when such big centralized companies are creating it. But can we really qualify it as crypto? But then again, I guess that's a topic for another question. Please.
The second part is PR. Like we have a license, we are good. It doesn't work. So if the company has a license, it doesn't tell you that it will not come to the bankruptcy. For sure, it come if it's bad company. If the company don't have a license, but it has a good business model and good founders, it works. So in crypto, it's like that. The third point is compliance. It's main. It's not main point because, and I will elaborate my opinion on that stuff. If we will look at the news and the Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, and its media, Twitter, a lot of fear, a lot of informational noise. But to tell the truth, what is the main fear, the baddest jurisdiction for crypto companies in the world? USA. Yeah. Everyone is fearing of SEC and etc. before Trump. After Trump, it's changing. Before Trump, but everyone who writes articles on that stuff and etc., they just don't look at the statistics. So if we take all the SEC cases, all from 2013 to 2025, it's like 180 cases at all. Only 180 cases, administrative and legal actions. So in the court, and half of that 180, like 200, it's about scams.
Yeah. I was about to say because
scams.
Yeah, I did a video on some of the most famous rug pulls in the world, and everywhere I went, I kind of saw this news about SEC crashing down on the perpetrators. It was especially funny with Soulja Boy and Kim Kardashian. There was this project called Emacs for Kim Kardashian. She rugged $2 million and she was fined $200,000 for advertising it. She wasn't behind it, but she advertised it on her Insta story. She probably got paid millions for that Instagram story because that's how things go.
Yeah.
And then there's this rapper called Soulja Boy. He promoted 75 projects on his Twitter and Instagram, and he got $10,000 for each promo.
Yeah.
And he was in no part connected to all of those projects, but he still managed to garner a big amount of profit from it. He allegedly got around $1 million, and he was fined for like 200,000, and that was by the SEC.
Yeah.
So
Profitable business.
did he really lose out? He just paid a fine and he was cool. And
Yeah.
that's where you kind of want to ask the question to the SEC, like, are you sure you're doing the right thing? Because, I mean, a lot of cases and a lot of very bad cases, I would say, especially with the SEC, and the way they cannot just find like the medium ground for their
Yeah.
work. And of course, the battle with the the SFCC, or what was it? I don't even remember. But
CFTC.
yeah, exactly. I read about it like a long time ago, and I was wondering, okay, so we're talking about one country here. These are two different administrative groups. Why are they not coming to like a simple conclusion, or like a compromise? But with the coming of Trump, it's especially interesting because he essentially pumped the coin with his presidential speech,
Yeah.
which is insane when you think
Yeah.
about it. That's like the biggest. That's the biggest hype token in
Yeah.
history of crypto. No one's gonna top that. I imagine that there'd have to be like another president that comes and manages to make the news
Yeah.
even bigger. But then again, it would be something that already happened. But it's total insanity. But please keep moving on with the question about the SEC.
Yeah, talking about the Trump coin, it's not about the coin, it's about the expressing position.
Yeah, true.
You
And
can
trying to get fans also.
yeah, it's like not fans money. It's okay. It's like it's the signal for the crypto market. Laissez-faire, the French conception. You can do it.
Hmm.
Everyone.
I did it. You can do it.
I did it. You can do it.
But that's like a very good stance when you really think about it. But the way it was proposed and the way it all just managed to go downhill because of the insane pump that happened,
Yeah.
and then for the first 24 hours was the golden era of it, and then what happens after?
I bought it.
Really?
Yeah, $6 on $6.
Where'd you sell?
80.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. My God. Okay, that's
so
that's impressive.
not full 80. Part of 80, part of 60, like that.
So you managed to go out on a high.
Yeah.
But I guess it was very predictable. I never really wanted to touch it. Again, I expressed my opinion on this, but man, good for you. You managed to cash out big. But the question of how many coins that was,
Yeah.
we'll leave that out. We'll leave that out of the conversation. I have another question that arises from this.
May
Oh yeah, of course.
yeah.
Please go on.
On the stuff with the SEC. So a lot of fear in guys was
Mm-hmm.
before Trump, but look at the statistics. Not so much fear you should express because of
Yeah.
this. At the moment, even the scariest jurisdictions in the cryptosphere, like United States, it's not so scary at all.
Yeah.
Because
Because they're
the-
buying like billions in Bitcoin.
not because of this, because the government authorities are working with the people, and people are not ready to handle with the crypto industry at the moment. There is no much specialists that work for government in
Yeah,
crypto
true,
sphere.
true.
And there is not. If you are a good specialist in crypto, you can make a bunch of money not in government. Why you should go to the government? For example, we have some criminal cases in the crypto sphere, and it's really hard to make a case when it comes to crypto, because police
Yeah, they're powerless.
can't do anything, and they don't want to take case that they can't do anything with. So this is the main problem. And so the scariest jurisdictions is the United States. Almost no administrative force towards crypto. Only when they come for you, what I am talking to with the founders, when they come for you, when you have a big, like Binance, like OKX, like Bybit, like FTX, etc. It's the effect of the size effect. So you should be able to be fully compliant when size effect, and when you work with fiat. If you are crypto native projects without fiat,
It's a different question.
different
Yeah.
questions. You should.
Because you're also going public when you're working for a
Yeah.
big company and you have
Yeah.
your name on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But when it's something anonymous, or someone comes and says, "Oh, I've just been rugged for $2 million. Please help me, police." But the guy who rugged you isn't even in the same country as you, and you
Yeah.
have no way of tracing back that transaction because it gets washed through
Yeah.
Monero, Zcash, whatever.
So
It's very difficult.
one of the point that I want to light here is that if you are making a crypto native, for example, crypto native projects with no fiat, with just crypto, and you are free to test it without big legal compliance pressure. You can just make one company, terms, privacy, go test it. If you will test it and it will be good, then come to lawyer and decide everything. Before that, don't pay money to different kind of scammers in the good costumes.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
actually makes a lot of sense. You would think that a lot of people are skeptical about opening a company, or even going towards a crypto business. But on that lack of knowledge for these people that come to you for guidance, you can kind of play the bad hand and
Yeah.
scam them, essentially selling the wrong stuff.
But we build different. So we here for long term, and we
Yeah,
like
you've got the
yeah
testimonials to back it up.
yeah we want to be fair to ourselves first of all. We like it. We see it beautiful. This is the one of the main idea how we work with our clients. So we're not coming to the fast big check. We make good money with big fintech when we provide MiCA licensing for the companies that need it, when we support projects with obtaining electronic money institutional licenses, when we are solving big cases for hundreds of millions of dollars. Yes.
Wow.
We make good money for good responsibility. But if the startupper is coming to us and asking how to be, I'll say to him, and every startupper will come to me, will approve it, that go offshore, terms,
Yeah.
privacy, you can do it by yourself. You don't need to pay money to us even.
Well, that's very fair, I guess. And when you really think about it, if we take the entire history of Bitcoin, there's about just over 20 years of its life, right?
Almost 16 years.
Almost.
Yeah,
Almost.
16 years.
If we want to go back to 2008, well, yeah, you're right. So almost 2 decades, something exists. And even if you were at the start of Bitcoin's life working in crypto, you still would have only attained that much experience as much as it was alive. And so when you really think about it, there are doctors that have 30 years of experience. There are lawyers that have 30 years of experience. This technology and this phenomenon and this culture of blockchain and crypto, it hasn't even been alive that long. So I guess you could say it's still kind of underage in terms of human life, but still, when you really think about it, it's on its way to expand. It's on its way to learn. It's on its way to adapt to different worldviews, of course, different countries, and you being in that position, of course, as early as you were there, you're going to be as one of the frontiers of it. And not a lot of people are willing to be those frontiers, but then again, when you think about it, that puts you in a much better position because, again, you're a visionary of the product. When no one believed in the internet, people thought that it was, more or less unreal because it was used for, military communications, and it was a very good way of communicating things. No one thought that what we would have now is TikTok dancers publishing thousands of videos on the internet. Back then when people were creating that technology, they would have never thought that it would be used for that. And it's the same thing with Bitcoin because, again, I don't imagine Satoshi thinking about people using it to rug people, pull liquidity, do like a
Who is Satoshi?
yeah, well, who's Satoshi? But when you really look at the white paper and his vision and the wallet that he never touched since its opening, you kind of have to respect that stance. And
Maybe he's dead.
well, there are a lot of theories on that.
Maybe it's CIA.
Yeah, I doubt that it's some government body, because again, that guy just with his vision, with his white paper, started a whole economy, a new way of people interacting worldwide and being able to send money. I mean, if we go back 10 years and you wanted to send money to some of your relatives in a different country,
May I tell you something?
Okay.
I don't believe it's new economy. I don't look at the crypto and all the sphere as on a sane cow.
Well, why is that? Because it's not the same amount of money as the stock market?
No. So, in my view, what is the crypto sphere? It's like we take finance, we take programming, and we multiply finance on programming, and make a shipment of freedom.
But it's not just about finance, because blockchain can be used in a myriad of ways in healthcare. It hasn't seen that much adoption. I get why you have that reaction, but still.
Finance. There is two ways of using crypto. First, financial logistic. So when we need to transfer one money to another place, for example, it can be in different ways. Like I can transfer through the wallet, I can transfer the wallet itself, etc. For example,
you can do that on SwapSpace, by the way.
Yeah. So exchanging money, international logistics from the euro to like pound of sterlings, like yuan, like yen, and etc. So one of the main idea is financial logistics. At first. Second, investments.
Oh, absolutely.
Logistics and investment. Nothing else at the moment. At the moment, it's doesn't work in any way. Well, when we are talking about cryptography itself, it's good technology, but it's not. It's like the instrument for the financial logistics in investment. The basic idea in the cryptosphere is only two, nothing else. What is the main beneficiary in the crypto market? What is the project that works the best?
Well, something that it's monetizable.
I ask you the question to you. What is the best project in the cryptosphere at the moment?
Well, exchanges, of course.
Yeah,
that's us. I mean, I get your point. And when we want to compare the Web3 to Web2, in the Web2 space, you have a lot of.
I'm not comparing with Web2.
Yeah. I just wanted to make another point.
Traditional money.
I absolutely agree, because there has to be a motivation behind it.
Yeah.
You have to receive the rewards for the blocks that you participate in, creating. And if there are no nodes, no people validating the blocks, there's not going to be any blockchain, and there's not going to be what you explained. But then again, when you really think about it, there are a lot of nonprofit organizations, especially in healthcare and Web2. That's something that we will probably never see in the Web3, because again, to have that many validators, going on a blockchain and being a part of that system, it just has to come from the people themselves, and it will be something like a charity. Do you agree? Because again, when you really think about it, you're using all that computational power or processing power, whatever, to make yourself a benefit. You either go on a proof of work blockchain, you mine Bitcoin, you mine something else, or you mine Ethereum with the stake that you have. That is if you're rich. But then again, there has to be this financial motivation. It has to be monetizable in some way, and that is the main driver of growth. And so you're absolutely right. But then again, we have to come up with ways of using blockchain in different technologies.
It's interesting thesis. So we need to we need to do that. I think it's like it should work in different manner. So the technology should answer. For example, there is a question, and technology should help to answer that question. But
of course.
not the technology asks make us to help you in some kind of
make
way.
us relevant.
Yeah, make us relevant. No, it's not not. I think I deeply believe that in our world, this technology is deeply relevant. I have my own the philosophy.
Yeah, I agree.
For example, transferring of money. My friend, it's like try to transfer 1 billion in bank, from one bank account to another bank account.
Yeah, you're gonna have the FBI watching your transaction. Where did you get that money? Did you pay taxes?
Commission
and taxes.
Commission and taxes. How much you will pay from the 1 billion?
I wouldn't want to be in the UK if I was doing that, especially with the crazy tax rates they have there. It's like, isn't it like if you make over £100,000, you get taxed over like 50%, which is total insanity.
It's progress. Yeah, in UK you have a progressive taxation.
Yeah.
So it's another question. Taxation. You should always pay taxes. We support. The next.
We're not talking about. It's not financial advice.
Yeah, it's not legal advice, but we support taxes. Yes.
We have the disclaimer just before we begin the episode. Anyways,
it's not legal advice and etc. Back to our backbone of our discussion. So I'm not. I deeply believe in crypto. I see it as a finance and the technology multiply, but the basis of the how is this technology will blooming and elaborate in the world is fully depending on the philosophy of financial system itself. So now what we can see in the crypto sphere, the big companies that control markets in traditional finance are now starting to control the finance in crypto finance. They started to attract exchanges, starting to attract brokers, starting to attract AML providers. So you as you can see, interesting point. One of the main really working regulator in the crypto sphere is AML providers. It's really working,
true.
And some kind of private companies controlling how you should see the chain. It's insane. You see it, chain analysis like companies Elliptic and etc. Guys, the real regulator is here and it's private. It's IML providers.
Yeah.
You should look at this stuff. If you are a startupper, try to elaborate this point and how to view, how and see. Take a look on some kind of good projects in this sphere, trying to be like not so dependent. For example, chain analysis is dependent on CIA.
we don't know that. We're not making assumptions.
For example, we're making extra assumptions. But so if some kind of guy in some kind of White House telling like we don't like these guys and we don't like crypto that this guy touch, and IML chain analysis. Okay, see your point. Mr. President, and
some guy.
Yeah, some guy, and they will like, his wallet is dark, his wallet is dark, his transaction is dark, and so you just take money, and you are waking up one morning and see that your wallet is fully dark, and you cannot to make it's liquid.
Yeah.
What the
true.
is going on here?
Well, there are two sides to this. It's a double-edged sword. In any case, the reason why, or like maybe like the justification of why governments do such heavy control and why they want to tax all these different entities that work in crypto, or for instance, why they want to have like this big brother type eye over all these businesses is because the way they justify it sometimes is, we don't want crime to happen. We don't want your funds to be stolen. And if they are stolen, we want a way to, get them back to you. But that would, of course, propose a very centralized solution.
It's just justification.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's justification. But there are times when bad things really do happen.
Sure.
What would you do in that case then? I mean, we're talking about crypto regulation here as a topic. And I want to ask, how does one thrive in DeFi and still have a way of protecting themselves if something bad happens?
Here I'm not standing from the moral high ground
Hmm.
of some kind. I'm not standing here, so I'm just pointing on these interesting points. So it's all the power game right now. So, but power from the Pareto law is have a tendency to take its in one center.
Yeah, yeah.
Power is always
Centralized.
power is always centralized. So the idea of crypto and etc. is about decentralizations, and it's good because it's like we have one side where the power always want to be centralized, and with some kind of trying of to this. Yeah, I won't say that the crypto is decentralized. It's the process of trying
To
of
be.
decentralization, but it's always the process that the big guys are buying the small guys, and the main problem of the cryptosphere is that it's fully obsessed with money. And
Yeah, true.
if the person is obsessed with money, it's easy to buy. So, for example, if you are Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan Chase,
Oh, of
yeah,
course.
I can buy you.
Hmm.
It's not about the idea, and not so much people with the idea, and this is the main problem of the money centralized philosophical view on the world here. So the crypto is will be ruined by the
Greed.
thing it was created.
Yeah, greed again.
Yeah,
Because,
capitalism itself.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, actually, when you think about it, when you pit these philosophies back to back, and you really think about um, crypto going one way or another, especially with capitalism. Again, capitalism has given the world so many good things, but there are all these buts.
We have this
Yeah,
discussion before, yeah, on
yeah.
this stuff.
And it's especially interesting with crypto because, again, the regulation behind it is going to define how it goes in the future. Because if you don't have like a very a good stance for crypto to advocate for it, to make it, you know, appealing to more people that are willing to use it, you're not going to have adoption. And no adoption means no motivation for financial services that you can use with crypto.
I have quite communication with the government bodies and regulators, and my opinion is that they're too slow. They are too old. They are too don't understand. A lot
Oh,
of in a lot of countries, not only our country. The now in this sphere, the guys who create, who build, who make an architecture
we're a new
for the world
generation.
have opportunity to create a new frameworks in which the government will work. For example, I give you just a little example: Ethereum. What you already heard about security token, utility token, etc.
I hear that all the time.
This kind of stuff. It was created. It's not the government is creating. So it was Ethereum. Ethereum come to the Switzerland lawyers. Switzerland lawyers created this conception of security, utility, and etc. And because of lack of the fantasy and etc., it comes the regulation in Singapore, in Hong Kong, in other countries. So it was created by some kind of bunch of lawyers.
Like they put a label on it. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So, government are always after the technology, are always after the architecture, and you need a really good navigation here. You need to see the picture clearly, and if you have enough fantasy, if you have enough resources and enough balls, you can create your own architecture that will be a framework for future regulations. So, first of all, you need to create a product. I my philosophical attitude towards the creation of this stuff is that, guys, create new worlds, and then think about you should take into account the regulation, but there are a lot of loopholes where we can help you with. But first of all, think about the creation of the idea and the realization of your idea, and then regulation. Because regulation, if you will be in the framework of this not understanding guys, imagine that the Satoshi was created a Bitcoin in the idea of guys utility security payment token. What?
Yeah, he didn't put a label on it.
He didn't put a label on. He didn't think about the regulation and why this has become the international phenomena.
Yeah, because I don't think he had an idea of monetizing it, trying to make a business out of it.
We don't know.
Well, I get, yeah, we can't know that, but what we do know is he does not have anything, and it's like he's not even present in this world. He isn't even a part of all the communication between the government bodies and crypto, because again, the wallet was never touched, even though there are billions on it, like billions on billions on billions. But then again, if we go back in time and you would ask him that question of why you're creating it, he would just say, oh, because I just want to have anonymity and privacy. And I think it's going to be a great thing if people use it, if people adopt it, if people are going to be willing to receive rewards for it. So to create that kind of system, to put in place proof of work essentially, and give those rewards and make that the backbone of everything that people rely on daily, that must have been something that had to have, that must have had a vision behind it, not just financial benefit, but pushing and creating something new that people can use. And you're definitely right, because again, you look at all of the creators, all the founders, they're trying to create the next big thing. They're trying to push their narrative. They're trying to push their product, which is going to be usually tied behind making a profit, because if you're a founder, you probably, like in 99% of the cases, have some kind of investor backing you up, or like a VC fund backing you up, and then you have to have all these responsibilities of giving back the money or not failing, and you have to put a financial narrative on it. You have to spin it around somehow and try to make that monetizable and make the money back and give it back to investors. And I think that's why most of these projects fail, because they're only focusing on the way to make money, and there are not a lot of visionaries and people that are willing to try something new that will probably fail. But that's just how life is. And because we've gone into this very philosophical discussion with you here, I guess it would make a great point that if you don't try, you will never know. And you make a great point when you say, just create it. Don't think about all these things that can happen, because who knows, maybe the law will just turn around entirely tomorrow. And that's a great point that you made there, Ruslan.
And always look at the level of administration. For example, we have a law, and it's strict. But we look at the practice, it's not so strict. And we look at the level of administration, it's almost zero. So always look the first. And I want to make a line after your conversation. So we have two kind of people in the sphere. One kind of people make money, make a bunch of money. The second part of people will make a legacy.
I mean, if we want to make an example of the people that are trying to make a legacy, I think Vitalik is going to be there for sure, because again, with all the donations that he's made, I think he's very much proven the fact that he is one of the visionaries, and he's one of the people that are trying to change the world. And the fact that he kind of did change the world with the coming of Ethereum and the people just going around it. I mean, the Ethereum virtual machine here is now the most prominent of all. People are building on Ethereum. People are going to such extremes with building projects, farming, yielding, staking, whatever that came. I mean, even proposing a new proof consensus mechanism was something that people never thought about, because he wanted to alleviate the world of that very big problem, which is sustainability
Mm-hmm.
and going green. And he proposed an idea that is still used to this day and is very much the perfect one
Mm-hmm.
to adopt if you're going to start a product or a project or like a crypto company. Because why would you go towards buying all these ASICs and putting your project on proof of
Work.
proof of work when there's this threat of quantum computing like looming over everything, and then you have to make like a quantum resistant blockchain. But then again, you have this solution that is already proposed, that has been put to work, and
Mm-hmm.
that is working so perfectly. Then if I were to go and trying to create like a blockchain project, what I would think about first is, what do I build it on, and what do I take inspiration from? And you always go back to Ethereum all the time. I mean, Solana, all these other different blockchains, they take inspiration from essentially Ethereum, all of them, because then again, if you're not trying to create something new, then you're trying to perfect something that already exists. And I think that's what we see, and I think that's what we're going to see in the future. But here's another question that I want to ask you based on what I just said. Uh, with all of the projects that come to you for legal advice, and wanting to understand how to even stay afloat in such a very like volatile
Ocean.
ocean of different laws. You have
Mm-hmm.
MiCA, you have the
Yeah.
SEC raining down fire on all these American projects. You have Dubai, which says, "Oh, please come here, do business here.
Uh,
We will give you everything you need. You will have investments and stuff like that."
don't come.
Yeah, well, different opinions, but still, um, China is like raining down heavily on anything that is crypto, trying to push their own narrative. The
Yeah.
digital yuan, the CBDCs are a thing, the stable coins are a thing. So many things have happened.
Yeah.
And what's like the most funniest question you get asked all the time from your clients based on all of this? What do they worry about the most? And what's like the top one annoying question that you get from all of that?
I tell you one. I tell one thing that a lot of founders have a lot of a big level of neuroticism, and they are fear of criminal proceedings. So
Oh,
yeah, why? Because we're in a sphere where you're always in risk. So
yeah, of course.
for example, if you exchange, uh, you can just take some money. It's IML check. It's okay, fine. Then 2 days after, 1 month after, 3 months after, it will be blackened by the IML provider. Like it's drugstore, like it child abuse, like it's
Oh, God.
like it sanctions money, like it's terrorism sponsorship, and etc. So you just take money. It's okay. IML check, chain analysis elliptic. That's fine. Then you will be punished for what? You tried
Not
to,
knowing.
yeah, not knowing. You're using all the instrument, but instrument is not ideal.
Oh,
Yeah, this is the problem. So, and they fear. So, and I always say to the founder that, guys, we know as law experts all the instrument how we can mitigate your risks. But when you come to the zone here that is legally unstable, you make a lot of money here. Why? Because of this trade. We have much more risks here, even legal risks, but a lot more profits. So it's a
yeah.
risk reward stuff.
Yeah, the risk reward is definitely there. But
And yeah, fear. Okay, they are doing some kind of token. For example, we support token emittance guys.
the tokenomics?
No, not tokenomics. We support the guys who provide their own, sell their own tokens, create their tokens, and such, etc. For example, the project, the trading terminal, they are creating their own token.
Is it more mandatory to have like proper vesting schedules, like rug pull prevention methods?
Not mandatory, but for rug pull, yeah, you need to do everything to not rug pull your project. So we
Do you wait? Sorry for interrupting you. But do you propose that in a way of utilizing some kind of smart contract, or just like on the basis of promise that, oh, we will not rug the audience?
No, if we're talking about the tokens that are listing on exchanges, we always support liquidity on exchanges. Yeah, and we always support. Some people thinking that, oh, my friend, I will start my own token, make a bunch of money, but you don't understand that you need to support
Yeah.
this token all their life. It's
Yeah.
always spending on a market maker and on marketing and etc. It's a big amount of money. You take the money from the investor from on the SAFT contracts one time, but then you need to support it, and that's a lot of money. A lot of money.
I have a very interesting question that I always have on the back of my mind, and I finally have the chance to ask it to a law expert in crypto. Let's say I am, pushing my project forward. It's about supply chain, and it allows you to scan a QR code and see the entire path of some product going from a farm. If it's like vegetables, you go to a shop and you scan that QR code, and then you see where it came from and what happened. You wanted to say something?
In 2017, the project that I invested in, it was Wabi. It's about it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so you see, you're kind of trying to put some use into the blockchain. And so supply chain comes to mind.
Yeah.
And let's say I use this project, and for each time some farm is adapting our product for people to see the path that the product made from its production towards the shelves, because they want to have like a better understanding of where that product was, and if it's not a counterfeit product, if it's been handled properly, if it was frozen or defrosted and frozen again, if it's like a produce product or whatever. If you want to check that your meat is fresh and if the expiration dates are fine. Let's say that project is successful. I managed to use it for a very long time, and for every time that someone scans the QR code, you get some kind of bonus in tokens. It could be the producers of the products that you sell, or you put them on shelves. And for instance, there can be some kind of reward mechanic for, scanning 100 QR codes of different products, making like a social media post and letting people know worldwide that, okay, there's this product. For people that use it, they will know for sure that their product is fine. And for people that produce those products, so we're providing a very good product. We're not fooling you here.
Cocaine from Colombia.
it would be able to trace that
on a blockchain.
Yeah, but let's say I'm the founder. I had like a vesting schedule of releasing all the tokens, but I was very greedy and I bought some of those tokens. I own, like, for example, 30% of all the pool of the tokens that were released. And then at one point I sell them all. I am not technically or, by law liable to any kind of offense or any kind of
Depends. It depends.
That's what I want to ask. This depends is what is bugging me, because it happens a lot. People release tokens. People then essentially rug. There's nothing you can do about it, because I'm technically the owner of those tokens. I can do whatever I want with them. And if I own half of those tokens and the other half was used to pump it so high, if at the start the price was like $1 and it went up to like $100, I sold my tokens, I made my 100x. You can't tell me nothing. Remember Kanye West?
You tell me nothing.
So what about that? What do you do with those kinds of people, and how do you prevent someone from doing it? Because I can imagine that if I was the founder of a project, I have like 30% of the tokens. The starting price was like 50 cents. And then it goes up to like 100. My money infinitely expanded into the stratosphere, and I'm thinking, okay, do I set myself for life and all the generations after me, or do I believe the product? I'm not gonna rug you guys. It has to be like sheer power of will, John Wick level.
Depends. Depends.
of will to not do that?
Depends, and I will describe how dependence works. So first of all, the first starting point when we are trying to understand the risks for this kind of action is where the project located, who is the investors, where's the assets are, wallets, banking accounts, where's the founders, and what our public communication about the project and price and our representations and warranties that we are talking about. So, for example, if we always make an idea that our project will good, and the price will skyrocket, and we will never sell, and then you just sell it. So it may be just like a criminal offense, for example, like in the jurisdictions like United States, UK.
It would be a criminal offense.
It can be. For example, I want to make some example from the autumn of the last year. So you heard about the Godbit, for example. Godbit, Alexandrunian, and etc.
Godbit. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Godbit. And what is the problem here? So he FBI are coming for him because of the electronic fraud. So how the fraud, what they name as a fraud. The government said that, okay, so the project come to you, you make some volumes, but it was not organic. You make these volumes of the token, so volumes of trade volumes. The people think that volumes is organic. They're starting to buying tokens. Tokens are coming to are starting bigger in price, and then you sell. So you make electronic fraud by this kind of scheme.
Wash trading.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you make the illusion in the masses that token will skyrocketing.
Yeah.
The token is rising, but it was your scheme.
Yeah.
So if
you can usually see that on a chart because the price never really changes when the wash trading is active.
Yeah. The principle is here. So if you make to the masses some kind of an illusion.
Yeah.
And then
we had $10 million volume. 24 hours.
And then you take money from that illusion.
Yeah.
You can be punished for that.
Yeah, you're liable for. Yeah. Okay, I see that. That makes it clearer, because I've seen a lot of examples of wash trading because.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean it is everywhere. You can open like a random chart on like the 130th page of CoinGecko. You go there, you open the chart, and it's usually wash trading to create some kind of illusion that this token is being bought by someone and actually being sold by someone. But usually it only involves like a clear line that goes 1% up, 1% down, and never really changes in the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, market makers hate those guys because they're the kind of like the evil twin brother of market makers, which are the wash traders. I mean, it does work. You can kind of inflate this idea of token relevance that you have, but I can see how you can be liable for it. But then again, what if everything is successful? I have the full right to sell those tokens. Am I liable then?
The separation here on criminal action and non-criminal action is that made you an illusion to the masses or not.
Yeah.
If it was not, if your masses was not in a genjutsu.
Genjutsu, that Naruto.
Yeah.
Naruto
So,
reference.
If it was a genjutsu, it's a criminal offense.
Wow.
If no genjutsu, if it will be clear, it's okay. But the main idea is whether I understand where's the genjutsu starting.
Yeah, you're right. But here's another thing that I think about, because if someone were to do that, that would inevitably crash the market of that token. There are rules put in place on the stock markets. For instance, you can't be Elon Musk and sell all your Tesla stocks at once, because it'll essentially be like a big FU to
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of the board of the
Usually,
directors that, yeah,
usually founder and the beneficiary that holds a lot of shares, it has some kind of agreements.
yeah, of course,
How you have to sell this.
yeah,
Yeah, but in
and it would
crypto
be the
there is no,
same.
there is no agreements. But when you are founder of the project, but when you control the emission, when you control a lot of money and etc., when your actions are going to be harmful, and before that you make an genjutsu
Yeah,
on your masses. So it's there is a possibility that you will be liable, but the chances that are you will be
the
liable,
chances it happens. Yeah, of
it's not
course.
so big because we talked about administrative part of the crypto law is a little.
Yeah, very small. I mean, that does make a lot of sense. And I always pondered about this idea that, oh man, everything goes perfect, everything is smooth. You're using some kind of project, you're using some sort of peer-to-peer service that allows you to remove the peer-to-peer altogether and pay with a card in the country that you're in, with your USDT or your crypto, essentially.
Crypto
Yeah,
cards.
yeah. You can use some kind of crypto. Well, not crypto cards. Imagine if we go back to all the third world countries like Argentina, Brazil, a lot of the people that are struggling in Venezuela, where crypto is not just about trying to make money or trying to transfer your money or invest it. It's more like survival because the dependence on their native currencies is very
Yeah.
volatile and high, and you would rather get paid in
USD.
USD,
USDT.
yeah, in USDT, yeah, you're right, or USDC, whatever your preference is, instead of the national currency that is getting devalued year by year, month by
Yes.
month, day by day. And for them, there are not going to be a lot of no friendly places that are going to accept those USDTs, on a level of tax and on a level of government. So I can't remember what country it was, but they made Bitcoin like a national reserve.
Ecuador.
Ecuador, yeah, yeah. You could pay with Bitcoin essentially anywhere.
Also in Japan.
Also in Japan, yeah, you're right. And that's extremely cool. You think about the possibilities. You're not tied to your national currency, you're tied to a currency that is used worldwide and is being pushed forward. And that for me is probably the main driver of growth for crypto right now. And that's what seems more appealing to me because I'm relieved of all the risks that the country where I live.
I have some
There
addition
are.
here. When we're talking about Japan, so the pricing not Bitcoin, so the pricing in yen, but it's converted in
The end, yeah.
yeah. When we're talking about the countries like fail states, yeah, whereas it's fail state, whereas
Yeah, the third world countries, yeah.
fail states because of the problem with the national currency and etc. For example, Argentina is refused their own currency and now they're accepting US dollars. So
Yeah,
it's
which makes the situation with their own currency even worse.
they have no financial sovereignty right now. They have no their own central bank that in full force. So it's
That's the question: do they really need it?
Huh?
But the question is, do they really need it?
This is the
It's
question.
like full anarchy there.
This is the question of the power. If
Yeah,
you
you're right.
don't have your own possibility of emission of your own money, you don't have power in financial sphere. So it's like the Argentina take our power away from us. For example, you have your country, but you even don't have your token. What is this? So the national currency.
The Argentinian peso should become like a stable coin. Yeah, it'll be funny.
National currency except dollars, euros, and Chinese yuans.
Yeah.
It's shit coins.
That's a first that I've heard. But I had the premonition that you would go there when I mentioned the Argentinian peso as a stable coin. That would actually be funny.
Yeah, that's
No ill will towards Argentina.
no, no,
It
no,
is what
no,
it
no
is.
ill will. So look at how the institutional funds are structured.
Yeah.
They how are they holding their assets?
Mhm.
They have attitude towards the almost all the currency in the world as a shit coins, and they are put their liquidity in the
Yeah, dollars.
U.S., euros, Chinese yuans, and obligations of these big countries.
Yeah.
Not in third world countries, because it's like
Yeah.
you never know when it's going to rug pull you.
That was funny.
Sorry,
But
but how it works.
yeah, you're right. It's the same with people. Yeah, it's easier to be rich when you're already rich, and it's easy to understand why people go towards these first world countries, the main like powers in terms of worldwide influence, which are of course the USA, Europe, China, and somewhere in between there are some other countries. But then again, you can kind of understand why. Even if you were an individual who wants to be supported, uh, you would move your business to one of those countries because you understand that they have people that are able to pay.
Hmm.
They have a more or less good structure of law that in some cases will protect you. And if you pay your taxes and if your due diligence is right, then you can thrive and strive for more and go for the moon, whatever. But would you go to Argentina to do business? That's something that you have to think
Maybe,
about. Yeah,
maybe.
but there are risks, and the
But
less the risks there are, the better.
some kind of projects like will work in international in crypto loans like
Crypto loans are
crypto banking,
evil.
crypto banking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are look at the countries like Argentina.
Hmm.
So, for example, they provide loans in USD, taking liquidity from the Europe and the USA. So in countries like USA and the European Union, it's okay banking position towards the credits. So the people can take credits for very cheaply. In the Argentina, because of the volatility, it's like wow, it's insane amount of money. So the idea of the projects, they take money from the tier 1 countries and provide loans in a tier 2 tier 3 4 countries. And how it works, it's like an credit arbitration.
Yeah,
It's big, it's big stuff.
I can
it's
see.
it's one of the big move that you can do in crypto right now, because some kind of people arbitrage from one exchange to another, but you can arbitrage the big amounts of money between central banks.
That's what I was trying to say when I meant that when I was saying that crypto loans are evil. Well, they're not inherently evil. I think they're so good that people want to use them. But then again, when you have a dependency on something so good, it's a double-edged sword.
Interesting philosophical question that we
Yeah.
come. So we need to end in a few moments. So in the final part of my speech, I want to say, first of all, to be, as I understand, good and proficiency in crypto, you need to understand the nature of money, and the
Yeah.
nature of money is debt.
Yeah.
So money itself is a debt. For example, if I have money in my wallet, I come to the shop, they owe to me.
Yeah, you're right.
Money
Because-
is a representative of debt.
Yeah.
And maybe the construction of money itself need to be re-engineered. And maybe somehow, maybe we have some few smart people who can understand how to re-engineer the idea of transferring value, of not making it debt if it's possible, and thinking with not close the box of his mind, open box.
Wow. An open-minded outlook on the world of finance and crypto, and yeah, I guess an overall good message to end it on.
Yeah.
I did mean to ask you some more questions, but that's going to be for another time, probably when we come
Yeah.
back to the podcast.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it definitely was, because I never meant it to be going towards like this very broad and psychological topic. But I think when you really think about it, the way you make a law and the way you regulate something is by the philosophy that is behind it.
Yeah.
If you understand the philosophy behind money,
Yeah.
if you understand the motivation behind why things work and how they are, um, going through an evolution. So you went from, um, back when we were cavemen, you would give food to someone and you would get like a club to kill an animal with. In the medieval times, you would give gold for cows, and then those cows gave you milk, and you bought seeds with the milk that you sold to a gardener, and then you plant trees, and then you get apples, and then you sell those apples to buy armor for protecting yourself. And
Yeah.
that's how the evolution came to us. And crypto is definitely out there. And of course, the law that will be regulated um, for crypto is going to be shaped by the psychology, the
Philosophy
philosophy
and power
behind
game.
it. Yeah, and of course the power game, because there are so many things that you have to think about, and it's like a very big puzzle right now. I'm still leaning towards naming this episode "Crypto Regulation is in Limbo," because again, you would have to go through so much to understand where to take this and where to um, have like a convergence point of crypto becoming the next big thing. Because of course it already is kind of like the next big thing, but it hasn't seen that kind of adoption that other big technological breaks have seen. I imagine a cure to cancer will be more popular than crypto, because it's something that is going to fundamentally change the lives of people, and crypto is just not there yet to fundamentally change the lives of people. And it takes us back to our
Um,
conversation.
Nothing will change fundamentally the lives of people, because people are people, and even we will live in the communism, we find some problems and things to destroy.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you're kind of mixing the chaos with the philosophy,
We
but there is
people
always chaos.
people always containing the chaos
Yeah,
in itself, also
right.
as a order.
Yeah, I was trying to end it on a positive note, but you had to go there. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's like the most logical thing you would say to something the likes of which I said. But then again, it's been a pleasure. I have to say I enjoyed our talk.
For me too.
Yeah, essentially anything that is going towards the change in regulation in crypto, you got it covered. We're gonna have a link to TX Legal and down in the description. And yeah,
My direct contact if
yeah,
somebody
yeah, of
wants to
course.
talk with me.
Any question that you would like to ask to Ruslan, you can do that. The link will be in the description for that. And I guess it's going to be a very goodwill type of thing for you to do, because if people have questions and they want to ask them, if there are founders that want to uh, thrive in the world of crypto, again, as you mentioned, there is some kind of fear. They do have to, be audited, have some kind of understanding of where they want to go, and maybe just maybe you're going to be the person that is going to guide the next visionary, like Vitalik
Yeah,
Buterin or someone that
yeah.
changes the world.
We are
Very positive outlook.
looking for the visionary. We want to help that kind of people.
Yeah,
I personally want to help that kind of people.
yeah. Maybe that's going to be someone that's watching this episode. But that's going to be it for me. I'm going to say my goodbyes. Ruslan, your
Yeah.
last word?
Thank you. It really was a pleasure. Thank you, Turpal.
Yeah, absolutely.